What is going on, guys? Welcome back to Run My Crypto. Hopefully you guys are having an amazing day today. So we're going to talk about the Bitcoin halving. We're also going to mention Jasmy, how that Bitcoin halving is going to take an impact towards Jasmy and what that looks like. I believe in 23 days, guys, we're going to see some amazing things happen in the cryptocurrency space. And then after that, continue into a massive bull run, guys. Make sure you hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, hit that bell notification so that you can stay up to date with all the Run My Crypto videos, guys. This is not financial advice, just some education to help you guys along the way on your cryptocurrency journey, guys. Let's try to knock this out in 10 minutes or less. So, guys, the first thing I really want to touch on is Bitcoin, right? The Bitcoin halving, understanding the type of, impact that Bitcoin halving is going to have on the crypto space. But then I got to understanding Bitcoin a lot more, and I started looking at, current store of values. Like, what do we have that actually really brings, a solid backing that has value? And I look at commodities, right? So the top three commodities are essentially like gas or oil, oil, and then you have energy, and then you have your precious metals, your gold, your platinum, etc. So I started to think about Bitcoin, and I started to think about what Bitcoin can do as far as landing in a category in that perspective. So when I really put my thought into it and I seen that, Bitcoin could actually roll into that category, I started to think long-term macro, like long-term, right? So, I started to realize that the Bitcoin ETF was essentially the first move for Bitcoin to get into that category, right? So, but there's a positive to that, because number one, you have Bitcoin that, when you compare it to things like oil, things like gold, and, these commodities that we have could actually be overinflated or hyperinflated by creating more of it and having a mass flow of it. So then I think about money, right? So I think about, the US dollar. And I start to think like, well, that could become overinflated, right? Number one, we're in debt. Number two is that they print a lot of extra money to get us to a point where they think that, it's benefiting us. But in reality, it's basically taking the value down because they're hyperinflating it by creating more and printing more and more money. So when I look at this, in contrast to Bitcoin, I'm like, holy crap, Bitcoin is potentially going to be the next store of value for all currencies, right? And then the ETF really brought in a lot of big institutional investors into the market. We've seen Bitcoin actually hit all-time highs in less than a month or so from the launch of the ETF. So that's all institutional money. And then I think that a lot of institutions are still not in yet. And to touch on that a little bit deeper, I think about Bitcoin, right? Then I start to look at the journey of where Bitcoin came from. Then if we take a look at these charts, you see how Bitcoin really started from the ground up, making a way into these levels. And I think that's when a lot of people started to realize that how valuable Bitcoin is as far as being a commodity and not so much a security. So I started to think a little bit deeper, and then I see Bitcoin actually, coming out with the ETF. And that was literally basically our blessing from the United States government to say that, this could potentially be a commodity in the future. And I started to think a little more, and I'm like, well, you had basically, an IPO come out, right? So it's, Bitcoin, but it wasn't, one little company launching this IPO. It was literally like BlackRock, the biggest investment company. And then you had Fidelity, you had Vanguard, everybody else that got in on putting Bitcoin out there as an ETF, and they basically are all introducing Bitcoin to the globe, right? So it just dawned on me, and like for us, we're not even like far, because I started to look at what is the stock versus the actual Bitcoins that are out there, and really there's about 98% left. Or there's 98% that are not in stocks, and you have 98% of people just owning Bitcoin out there. And the ones that own it are literally going to be the ones that are superpower into this. So I'm just thinking like outside the box, like, it just takes me to understanding that Bitcoin could go way farther than, you know, the 150, 200,000. Now I understand, you know, when you put it into a perspective where you look at, you know, the overall value of Bitcoin, you know, it has at least 9 years, 10 years, or a decade or so to basically transform into that commodity. So it's super crazy. So think about that, you know, for your investment future. And, you know, you have to really start looking at the way you look at cryptocurrency projects. You know, are they really bringing that utility to have value, not only for today, but for the future? And I believe Jasmy is one of those projects that are going to have massive value for the future because it's a big, important part of this journey. All right, guys, so let's talk about where Jasmy can potentially go, guys. I always say it's you know, $1, $50 billion market cap. That is where we're going without a doubt. So it's about how we get there, right? So this is the road that we're going to take, guys, because there's so much money that's going to flow into cryptocurrency that it's ridiculous to think that a little measly $50 billion can't flow into Jasmy coin, especially if it's got a big, strong community and a community of holders. So that's our goal, guys, and we're going to preach that until the top of the bull run, guys. So let's talk about it. Let's take a look at Jasmy. So on the daily, guys, we're seeing Jasmy at 0.02 cents, 2145 to be exact. So seeing a little 30.33% upward momentum, but we did break out of this area down here with potential to go back down to the downside. So if we just kind of just see what our downside was, we were, I guess, a little bit above you know, that 1.015. We do have a potential to break down a little bit. The RSIs are showing Jasmy may come back down and test down to these levels, but that's okay, right? We know we're in a consolidation. So what does that look like? Maybe down to the 1.7 again. Big buying opportunities definitely for Jasmy if we do break to the downside. But if we do head upwards, you could see us, if we do a fib retracement from previous top to bottom, looks like we could get into those levels of retesting that, you know, 0.24 cents, breaking into that 0.03 cent area. So we need some momentum. We need some positive, not necessarily information, but we need some positive cash flow coming into Jasmy to basically push us up out of those levels. Now, if we're looking long term for Jasmy, this is where the area that I was super interested in is at that 0.5 to 0.7. I think we could potentially hit that in the next couple weeks or so, you know, hopping into that Bitcoin halving. That would be you know, awesome, especially for all of us that have been patiently waiting for Jasmy to hit those types of levels to get us up out of this area. So if I come out here, guys, this is what I'm really looking at long term, guys. So short term, I think we'll probably, you know, retest this 5 cent level, break into that, and then obviously during the you know, bull run, we should not have a problem breaking into that 10 cent, and then obviously, you know, sky's the limit where I see us being able to reach this 34, 35 cent level. Now, my whole thing on this is us being able to break through this and conquer this before we even get to the peak of the bull run, guys. So that's what I'm thinking, that we're going to see this, guys, in the next, you know, 4 to 6 months. I believe we'll be able to hit that 30-some cent level and then go into that price discovery mode for, you know, not surpassing the original all-time high, but surpassing the last all-time high that we had, because there's a lot of positive information coming out for Jasmy. Not only that, if we could start to see some of the project go into place, definitely we'll be able to see that market cap blow up. Now, they did clarify some of the information for Jasmy, and that's basically letting us know that they are going to start locking up 100 million coins on a monthly basis. So that's very positive for Jasmy, because taking any type of supply out of circulation is very positive for the project. Now, when we think about that in a 6-month frame, you know, you're talking 600 million tokens. So we all think, a lot of people think this bull run's going to go into 2025. So obviously that puts us with, you know, at least a few months ahead of us to be able to continue to dollar cost average buy into the project, you know, and create more positive news for Jasmy and, you know, get us to that $50 billion market cap and then dollar valuation for Jasmy. Now, there's some other positive information, because we are with the carbon credits for the exchanges for Jasmy is also another very, very bullish sentiment for Jasmy to continue going to the upside. So this is definitely really pushing my mentality that we're going to get to a dollar valuation before or at the peak of this bull run, guys. And it's not going to happen, you know, really fast. I think we're going to gradually see this. And then, you know, the very last portion of the bull run where we start to peak out, I think is going to carry Jasmy to that level, guys, and could go beyond that in my opinion. So it's just a matter of what type of momentum the community starts to put forth, and then the holders, are we going to start accumulating more holders, and then how the lockups are going to impact Jasmy as far as the project goes as well. So super bullish on Jasmy, guys. It's it's inevitable we get to $1 for sure, definitely. So hope you guys like this. Make sure you guys hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and stay up to date with Run My Crypto, because we got a lot of Jasmy videos that are going to be coming out, guys. We're going to push Jasmy to that $50 billion market cap, guys. So take care, guys. Be blessed. I'll see you guys on the next one.